I'm looking at myself here on the screen, and I realize that if I grew my beard out a little bit, I might just begin to look like Santa myself. I've got the midsection for it. I've got the gray hair going. Jeez, all I need is the wire rimmed glasses, and a little longer beard. I'd be right there. Oh well, getting old. Hope you're doing well. Um, Take a moment and think. These are just how can I say it? Observations. Let's just say pastoral observations. But what we do know is that for each and every one of us, that the real issue in our life is, in terms of our relationship to God, it comes down to an element of faith. And you've probably heard people talk about their mountaintop experiences. And I was just lying in bed the other night, and every now and then just a thought will come into my mind. I'll write down, quickly jot it down so I don't forget it. But that thought of these mountaintop experiences, now just take a moment and think with me. Not a whole lot, if you look up on Mount Rainier, not a whole lot grows on the mountain. Now, one thing great about the mountain is you have an incredible perspective. You can see things afar off. You have an incredible view, but it's not the most fertile place to be. Certainly isn't a place where you can expect to see a lot of productivity. In fact, I would actually tell you that it's a rather austere place to be. Not much growing there, especially the higher up you get. You can see afar off. You can see the other mountains, so on and so forth. But certainly isn't the most fertile place to be. Actually, the most fertile place to be is the place where most people consider it to be a little depressing to be there. It's called the valley. Maybe it's because of Psalm 23, the valley of the shadow of death. But remember that valleys are the most fertile places on earth. This is where you typically see the most nourishment in terms of the soil and things such as that. In fact, remember I think it's in Deuteronomy chapter 11, I believe it begins in verse 10, where God said, look, I brought you from a very fertile place like the Nile River, where it would overflow, it would fertilize the soil, it was rich, it was, everything would grow. You could just basically, till it with your foot. You could make a furrow with your foot, and that would be enough to plant the seed and have it grow. But I'm bringing you to a place where it's going to be hills, there's going to be higher elevations, and you're going to have to count on me. I think even though it's kind of reversed, that speaks to us today. But God brings us to what we would consider to be perhaps the more difficult places in our life, the valley experiences, so that we can live by faith and we can trust Him. And He can be who He says He is, faithful. He's faithful. One of the things we're going to study this Sunday, God is loyal. Now, there's lots of people that would, decry their loyalty, it says. I think it's in Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 6. But really, a faithful man, who can find? There's lots of people that will say that, but can you really find one? But God, in 1 Corinthians 1:9, is faithful. He's true to His word. He meets us. He satisfies us. He fulfills us. He provides for us. He gives us a sense of purpose and vision, and something to look forward to. Maybe you're in your valley wishing you were in a higher spot right now. But just remember this, the valley is the most fertile place you could possibly be. Those hard times are good times because they're faith times. And we're growing from faith to faith, and we're experiencing God's glory in 2 Corinthians 3:18 as we do. We're growing. Let's all grow together. I'll see you in the valley. Till next time, friends. God bless you.